Well, good afternoon, Father Joe. How are you this beautiful God-produced June day?
Greetings to everybody and to you, Bob. I've got my cup of Joe here and happy to greet anybody who has a chance to listen to this kind of updates on what's going on here at our Catholic Workhouse. There's never a dull moment.
There is never a dull moment. The phone is always ringing off the hook. Well, you just got off the airplane a couple of days ago from Baltimore, where you were at a conference retreat with progressive priests. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell all of us a little bit about that and how it relates to Casa Esther's mission.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'll tell you what, Bob, when I got off that plane, I also got off that plane with COVID, but we're not gonna dwell on that.
Yeah,
I'm feeling fine.
good.
But yes, before I get into the content of my conference retreat in Baltimore, I'd like to make a reference to us, our identity as a Catholic Worker House. We are in the Green Bay Diocese.
Yeah,
Green Bay is also the home of the Green Bay Packers,
indeed.
who boast of arguably the best NFL football coach of all time, whose name was Vince Lombardi. Now,
Right.
what made Vince Lombardi's coaching so special was that he always insisted on fundamentals.
Yeah.
Boys, fundamentals, blocking and tackling. And that's what made the Packers team so strong under his coaching and leadership. Well, I'd like to compare, if I may, Vince Lombardi, coach, to our co-founder, whose name is Peter Morin. And he also was a tough guy with a great vision, great leader, and he insisted on the fundamentals. So whenever we deal with stories about Casa Esther, we keep rooted to being loyal to the fundamentals. In this case of Peter Moore, who stated them, we call them pillars of hospitality, roundtable discussions to clarify issues, and farming communes. So now, what I participated in Baltimore is an extension of that second one, which is roundtable discussions. So as a Catholic Worker House and member, part of our mission is education.
Yeah.
Dorothy Day was not only a great writer and spiritual leader, but she was a teacher, and she led the way in promoting education in all of its best forms. And of course, Peter Morin was a great teacher. And so that's part of who we are. And so on roundtable discussion. So I was in Baltimore with a group called AUSCP, Association of Catholic United States Catholic Priests, Association of United States Catholic. Terrible name, but it's a group of very progressive priests throughout the whole country. We're about 200 strong, wow. dedicated to being faithful to the spirit of the First Vatican Council, the Council of Reform. Remember, Pope John the 23rd said, our church is getting stale. We got to open the windows and let in some fresh air. And there's been pushed, a lot of people are resisting that. But this group is promoting leadership of making things happen in terms of reform. So they talk about such radical things as women deacons, ordination of women, married priests, total respect for the gay community, and very liberal, you might say, a very liberal approach to reality. And so I was part of that. Now, one of the keynote speakers was a Franciscan by the name of Daniel Horan, Father Horan. Just a powerful presentation and keynote. And then we had a keynote by Bishop John Stoll, who was the head of Pax Christi. And he gave a powerful message, one that most bishops would not give. It was so progressive. And then one of the other people at the conference was Bishop Wester, who is has partnered with us at Casa Esther in writing his famous letter on atomic weaponry. So we met with some very powerful people, and I mentioned Pax Christi, which we at Catholic Worker here we have a chapter, the one of only 2 in the diocese, and we talk about nonviolence, peacemaking, and no war. And so we will be represented at in Washington at a conference that'll take place in September. And so Pax Christi is at the heart of what we do here at Catholic Worker. So
wonderful, thank you. As you're talking about it and talking about education, how that relates to that pillar of roundtable discussions, and you use the word education, it just seems to me so significant to our world and our society that we're evolving through education, whether it's within a faith-based community that you're a part of and leader in, whether it's for our children. The opportunity for education so that we can learn from the past, so that we don't, or the other option is to go back in time. The other option is to go backwards in our societal evolution. And clearly, this organization of progressive priests realizes that times have changed. Times have changed in the United States, times have changed in the world. And so that's just amazing. Look forward to hearing more about it in the future. And I also understand you had a chance to play your flute closing night or something or other. We're looking forward to finding some pictures of that.
Yeah, that was for the closing banquet, which was headed by Cardinal Milton Gregory. He's a Black Cardinal of Washington. And so we had our closing mass and then the banquet, and with cocktails and dinner and blah, blah. And a real fine jazz group. I couldn't believe how good they were, how advanced. And I was enthralled. And one of the priests remembered that I had played in the past and said, "Father Joe, did you bring your flute?" And I looked, I don't even remember playing in the past, but I did. So I went up to my room, got my flute, and played several selections, and I was a big hit.
Wow.
One of our own playing jazz in front of all these priests. So it was an honor. It was fun and creative, and it was a good experience.
It's wonderful to bring your music ministry and your musical love of music to that venue as well. Hope we can find some pictures or some video clips and stuff of that and put it on the Facebook page. Well, thank you so much. Through your not feeling at the top health-wise, but I know you're on a big recovery here. Thank you for spending time with us today, and we'll look forward to next week.
Thank you, Bob, and blessings to all. Okay.
Thank you. May peace prevail on earth.